beautiful day. Oh, there's another whale. So we first tried an anchorage over there. And there was a boat tucked up in there. We had a hard time seeing depth, so we decided not to do that. So then we had to pick our way around all those rocks. We are now in a deeper area that feels a little safer. And we are headed up through these rocks to try this other anchorage. We thought there might be 2 boats in here, but we think one boat went to the other anchorage because he must have known how to get past in there. And so hopefully we only have one other here. That does look like we might be getting a fishing boat coming up. Okay, we're tucked in there pretty good. Feels like a pretty good anchorage. We've got land pretty much all around us. We are currently in 43 feet of water. We are in Freeman's Passage, and we came in and we came to right here and tried to anchor where that was, and it didn't really feel right. Another boat was up in here, and we were nervous about going up in there. So we came out and we made our way through all the rocks and around, and now we are over here. There was a boat when we first got here, but we think he was just dropping some pots because he left. It looks like it should be a good anchorage, doesn't it? It's 1:25. Our anchor's holding well. We are getting gusts up to 30 knots. I came up to the pilot house just to check on things, and you can't see him, but Eric's up here sitting in the chair. All we hear is wind, and I'm hearing water because I've got my windows open in the bedroom. And not much sleep tonight. Our tracks last night. We didn't sleep. I mean, look at this. We're totally in a protective cove. And look at that.
We should be up there where that fishing boat is, actually.
Is that what?
That's local knowledge.
Shoot, it's like we've been moving sideways and all over the place all night.
While we were in Elbsong Bay for a day and a half, we jogged on the anchor for about 2 miles. Our trip meter had increased 2 miles by the time we left, got off anchor.
We don't like where we're anchored right now, but we don't really like the idea of pulling anchor and going out there either. So we're just kind of seeing what's going on here. On top of that, we can't hear the weather. We've gotten closer to this side than we really like to, so we're contemplating just pulling a little of the anchor chain up. I would say good start to a day, but neither one of us slept last night. Eric sat in this chair the whole time, and I tried to sleep, but
I laid down for a while. So
okay.
I did close my eyes a couple times.
Okay. The decision's been made. We're going to stay here until it's no longer safe, and hopefully this afternoon it will ease up and we will take off. This is what the sound's like outside. Isn't it amazing how the boat muffles the sound? pretty odd when 20 knots of wind is feeling calm. It's starting to die down a little. It's high tide, so we're going to take this opportunity to get out of here. Eric's out there pulling up the anchor, and then he'll put his headphones on, and I will be driving us out, keeping us off the rocks as we go. Ready, Diston? You ready? As we get the engine started and get ready to go, we start seeing 25-knot gusts of wind again. At times it goes back down to 15. So Eric's going back up there to start doing the anchor. I'm going to have to quit recording, but we feel like we have to move. As you can see, the X is where we should have anchored, but this is where we left from and where we went. Wind died down and it got much calmer almost as soon as we got into Freeman's Passage. And voila, we are out of the gusts of wind. Today we left Absalon Bay and went to Captain's Cove. We departed at 1:15. It was a 20 nautical mile ride and it took us 3 hours. Are you comfortable? Yeah. You look like you're comfortable. We are in Captain's Cove. This one was recommended to us by Kevin. Eric is out there anchoring. He says, considering the limited space that we had last night, he's anchoring smack dab in the middle. Look how calm it is. We are both just exhausted from not sleeping last night and waiting to be up to get out of the other anchorage. And this just looks nice. So hopefully we sleep really good tonight. I think we're both ready to head south though and try to find some sun. I don't remember the last time we had sun. Look how nice and pretty it is. Did I mention calm? It's calm. It looks like we're going to be protected by these islands as well. Again, a good night's sleep would be great. Halibut cakes for dinner. Last time Eric wanted more halibut cakes than we had, so I did a double batch. We ended up having halibut cakes for more than one night. And then I just take a minute to enjoy the calm and the view that's outside. We are recognizing that boating includes more lows and more highs and less in-betweens. It makes you really appreciate life. Wow. Just wow. We decided not to dilly-daddle around and to head south and look for better weather. So we left Captain's Cove and we headed down to Coughlin's anchorage for the night. We are in about day 3 of not having internet. And what I find is this is what I really love. We get disconnected from the outside world and all we see is the beauty of what's around us. It's strange because as soon as we get back to internet, of course, we're all on there trying to make sure we're making those connections. It's kind of a strange dynamic, but for right now, I'm just enjoying not having internet and just looking at the beauty around us. This is the Grenville channel. It's known as the highway or the interstate. It's a wide channel, lots of room. You do need to watch out for logs. The boat in front always has the right of way. The boat in back has to give way. We have an interesting experience in this channel. We were changing who was doing watch. We've been keeping an eye on the boat behind us. While doing chores and giving Eric status updates, I noticed the boat was quickly closing in on us and wasn't showing any sign of changing course. Eric took one look and got on the VHF and asked them their intention. The boat suddenly veered to port and went around us. We could only come to the conclusion that somebody was using their auto navigator and not visually monitoring the traffic. We noticed when the vessel checked in with Canadian traffic was clear to say that the Havaseas was 10 miles behind them. It was a long day and I was rather tired, so we don't have pictures of Coughlin's anchorage, but it was a decent anchorage. The next day we did a 9.5-hour run covering 66 nautical miles. We left Promise Island and went to Mary Cove. We are coming into Mary's Cove for the night. There's a couple whales out there. I can see their spouts, but that's about it. It turned out to be a nice day. And this is Mary's Cove that we're going into. We are in Mary's Cove. We came pretty far back and in. It feels pretty safe in here. Like we're protected. So hopefully, and it feels like we have enough room. So I think we're here for the night. Here's where we're sitting right now, right on top of that anchor sign. We have 63 feet. And it's high tide. So Eric has a hard time slowing down, which means that we'll set a plan of spending a night and a day in one location before we move on, but it doesn't seem to happen. We set ideas for short days and he will go take us for another 10-hour drive. So yesterday I convinced him to actually stay at our anchorage for another night, and I had the whole day to just do things around the boat. I had one viewer ask where we keep our dishes and how, so I'm going to go ahead and show that in the kitchen. Here is our galley, or what I like to call the kitchen, because this is my house. We have 2 cabinets up here. I've had cabinets like this in my house and they bothered me because you end up not being able to see people and having to duck. In our case, there's 2 steps down. And with that 2 steps down, I stand and I can look out, and people who are seated in the living room, I'm at eye level with them. I am very impressed with this design because of that. Here's the first cabinet as you enter the kitchen. In this cabinet, we keep our glasses, and whoever had the boat before us had this shelf unit made with holes, so it really holds the glasses well. There's not a lot of glasses in there because they must be in the dishwasher. Here is the second cabinet. In this cabinet I keep all of our dishes, the plates and the bowls. We happen to have a buffalo type china from Williams Mona that I was not sure about, but because I read another blog where they were glad they brought their normal dishes, I did it too, and it's been working out great. I figure if my son and husband don't break these dishes, we should be gold. In the first cabinet here, it's rather small. I hang my measuring cups and my measuring spoons off the door. I've got a couple glass measuring cups and some spares in there. I could probably utilize that back wall space, so I may be doing that now that I've noticed it. In this cabinet next to the stove, I keep the oils and vinegars so that I can use them easily for cooking. The next cabinet is a blind cabinet, and I'm kind of impressed with what I decided to do with it. It's working really, really well. First of all, I hang the pot holders off the door so they're easy to get to and they don't take a drawer. And then I have my bowl, my big bowl, for mixing in here. And then I use the blind cabinet area for my cookie sheets and my cutting boards and my cooling racks. I'm going to get a tray stand so that they can be divided and they don't fall like that, but it's working really well. I can just grab these big bowls out, and then it's easy for me to get these. I also have a couple silicone pot holders, and they are excellent for making things stick if we're in waters that are kind of rough. So I just keep those in there. I don't like using them as much for getting food out of the oven. In this last cabinet, that's where I keep my pots and pans. And it's not as organized as I'd like, but here I've got my frying pans, and there's two of them that I have not used since I've been on the boat, so they may be disappearing soon. I have one regular pan. I have a saucepan up here with a big measuring cup that would not fit in the measuring cup drawer. I've got one Tupperware. I only have 2 Tupperwares on the boat total. I have my salad spinner. I have a splatter guard back there, and I have a big pot and a colander inside. I also keep my Cuisinart blades back there. It's working, and this is pretty much all I need. This is my large frying pan, which I use all the time. I just keep it on the stovetop. See why I couldn't show you the kitchen without cleaning the stovetop? On the counter, I keep my mixer, my food processor, all my spices. I still have a few spice jars that I can fill. I keep the potatoes and the onions. I'm hoping they're far enough apart. The salt and pepper and the paper towels. We keep the coffee maker out. We've got a place Eric went and got this knife rack that has been working excellent. And we've started keeping the food saver out. It just kind of slips down there and you don't really see it, and we use it a lot. There are not as many lower level cabinets. I have 4 drawers on this side, and they're rather small. The top one is for my cooking utensils. The second one is supposed to be for sharp objects so that you know to be careful when you get in there. The third one is for serving, but the top drawer was so smashed that I've started putting other items in the serving drawer. And this is for miscellaneous odd items. There's also underneath the kitchen sink. I have a hard time putting anything under the kitchen sink that I cook with. It's just me, it's weird, but we use this for all of our cleaning supplies. I did put the food wraps down here. And I have a place for plastic bags. I have 4 more drawers here. The top one is for silverware. It came with these already made grooved areas for the silverware. Thought about taking a jigsaw to the back ones, but it's working out fine. I have baggies. More baggies. And this is miscellaneous tops for Yetis. Way to get air out of the mason jars, and some binder clips that we use to keep food fresh in bags. There's a corner area here. And hydrogen. We use it for the rice cooker on the top and the toasters on the bottom. I also have some space out here. On the right, we keep our booze. And then down here, I have my pasta making stuff. I have my 9x13s, my meatloaf pans. I've got another little serving dish back there, some square pans, one big serving bowl, some pie pans, and some cake pans, and another serving dish, my rolling pin, and my rolling mat. So I really haven't needed more than what I brought. Up here, I've utilized this drawer for my linens for the kitchen, my hand towels, my dish towels, and my dishcloths. Seems to be working well. There's a few more miscellaneous items that I don't keep up here because I don't have room and I don't use them that much, so they're downstairs. This is our food pantry downstairs, which I think you've seen before. And we have a Fry Daddy. I have another big pot. Haven't used it yet, so we'll see if I use it. If not, it's gonna go. I have a hand mixer back there somewhere, and I think a potato dicer. One of those potato presses where you put the boiled potato in there and then you get really small. Oh, it's a potato ricer. That's great for mashed potatoes. And one last place that I've stuffed stuff. I have one more long skinny cabinet. So I have my pizza tray, a pizza cutting board, just some miscellaneous items down there. Apparently some wives let their husbands put tools in there. That wasn't happening. However, if you look in there, see those toolboxes? I searched for 8 to 10 hours to find stainless steel toolboxes that would fit that little ledge. It was totally worth it to get the tools out of my pantry. I'm actually very happy with my kitchen, which is good because if I'm happy with my kitchen, I bake and I cook more. I don't miss anything that I used to have. After a nice little rest in Mary's Cove, enjoying ourselves, in the next episode, we will head through Millbank Sound.